ya ya da tarin de ngade Ontario na liye pemi yong le ya ne ngan zu de sane yu de chok chung ki ne chomi chame chap shu che chang lo le ya cham di da ne test le shue yi an tarin de an yin du di se go e gyum zen di ne mi ma zo le ya da ni do ni SiChi gi SiChi ni gi yu du che mo to ngon ro yu du da de yu be ge ne ling ge zo le ya lam de chi na ra zu do shue yi 다 디체자 다 통마데 간주기 가서 산에게도 소중 모두 쉬우이나 간주 총미 나타 다가난 신기에네 소르바 소미여 시주슈이 총미나네 로사 펜술라체 덴지키룰라체 디네 페메둘라 로데 군찹라 네 게시 초덴라체 디네 manzu surpa na ne sane shunu tsokzo tile domgarar che dana shingi ne pimilen zoki ne tsokzo dadun jongdo la dine dogam chushigan roki ne tsokzo tsiri wanchula dosre si shuen ne dade Canada onti piri chuden tsokbe ki tsokzo goba tsiri wangi ne danda sane yudu tsokzongi genzin yin si shuen 당한조 대산에 단다 온타리오 나리아 페미 대게 나니 니동 등겨 중니 총소 시슈이 디나네 다 나조 통마 나조 니동 앞결 하시 충분해 디네 다 예자 지도 중니 생이 싹솜네 잡게 바라리아 나조 대게 나에게다 고급 태버 중사 디파라텔리아 나조 다 미만하네 페미 캐당갑줄 하시네 대변나서 시슈이 다 랭게도 킹기브레 단데 내염기 깽기 네다 간주 진도 주지기 생이 싹솜라야 도마 차자지 땅아주 대가데 차자지 록다운 쉐브레 디네 네 양겨 다 니자 진도 주니기 생이 슈 제로네 제지간주 담라 슈체르 친자 네 간주 니만 찍나로야 의도 나에디 가고시다 유자 나주 산에기다 어디 조종이야 의도 조종이야 nie산 쉬이체 다 니만 찍을 자원이 용서 말했지 네 가서 다 니만 숨기도 스마 가서야 가져 톱체 다 니도 니 SiChi 진짜 당배 제 찍네 제제 나도 제숨 니만 숨는가 아니 가서 그도 스페기 네 tuzu stempe chung res che shui ta ganzu nyeja ma seta shiwa shisongi shoge chazu geba ne che ene ganzu gi ningu gyabli ya chuzu ngawa to ene ganzu gi dos ganzu gi ta shashi dos tigi de da ene miman so ken ya ta ganzu tebge nanye nidon miman nanye nidon dungya suye za ane ganzu nima sumla yapa dos kopshikya yore nima thangbo sabasa tsechik nima te ane tepge chik ne cheche chikdon yubaso ma pero che shu yore daganan shingi ane nima niwa tili ya tepge chikdon chik ne cheche nidon tu che nima sumba tili ya sa nima tili ya ane ganzu nidon chik ne cheche ane nidon dungi chungni 다만 신기 네 간주 니마 당부다 니마 니월이야 계시 회페 고급 중 맵이나 니마 숨어들이야는 간주 그런주 페기 네 델리아 디그레스 쉐이 다만 신기 네 그래서 간주 로겜바 로게주 여답 계시 유비나 내가 그런주로야 믹스에기 네 간주 튕게다 다만 시 왕보 견제 요베던데 유나 네 코란스가 아주 소배네 네 트레디션을 시주에 인델이야 디다 네 니마 수버델이야 게지레샤 케시산에 카시에네 네 대게나 제데리아 네베나 제데 유비나 코란스 니마 수버델이야 사니마리아 네 페에 고가비에 네 링게조 네데 디 대게 앙디 갑리아 링게조 다 딩게버도 소소기 따단다 자리 락대기 갭리아 시로나 안가주기 대교기 앙란델리아 CAON 지요레 디젤리아 nenga주기 디 앙지요레 다 베네시시 디테베나 쉽게 숨주 소구레샤 네 단디니마 당부들이야 페고기요레 디다 디직체 디다 에네타 만주기 지다 델리아 타디 슈브디 타미마 만주 motor show ta drive through numkhor korne ta ma pero shi shu gore me ma so ya begu ta nga zu de la ya me ma ta da zom shu gi me sa ne motor ta che ma phe ne nga ra zu de cha shi cha sa shi ti gi ore and kesi motor me ba de ye bi na nga zu yang de kombi ge ma phe nye so ya choga ta nga zu gi le zen kha ki para la ya nga zu ya Delias Chixurtu such as switch Delia Tegu sa tanda Wepe Gene Delia Chashi Shui Dijelia and Ganzu Udugi Gensho Gandare Dana Shinki and Ingetone Udu the Terry Vegene Sika Shechi Ganzu Udu Tojo Tomi Pemedula Dana Shinki and Pemilenzo Tozo 다들 정도라야 대표유 랭게도 대표로나 tesla 다들라 간주기 단다 외도기 겐쇼 디 강다골이야 다 겐쇼 칸이 샤이고레 직디 에네 시교 쳇레체 니버디 에네 간주 또 장아들 지디니 예자 디톨이야네 겐쇼 강고 디체자 디 미말이야 직 세셰시나나야 부두
로 원gelata nangan sugi sigonda chitigu shoti gardan di kola keche shoti dinala riume shidu dinala ming keming che ani payu khane ime de niwati che sumba dinala thande dene khawa ime che ani shiba dinala thande lene sam ngöngelene tadi column shishurwa riume shidi inchi meji kyona hodu anti chasan shitu station now
ta ina eta tanda keje koele ya kesidi ya kuchni gyang mewe na an so so ti ane zime roe gitande chik yosare di cheza ane dil ya ta zime khatu khatu du yume khandes du yume di kol ya chik seshesh na
hello ta tanda di usho gyana backups la dinal chisup chibar china andi zime du shuen andi ne chik tanda nga zugi sikyon di yomi chik mishi luye yomare tadila sikyon yomi mingi chibar china andi zime du shuen andi ne chidu dawo china nga zu changari la lojang ari na la chidu ni mishi demgena chomare tadina la chidu yang kashe ki mi sum chibar china andi yang zime du ani nyungda la chidu yomi ni che 아니 시경 외미 찔레라 강초무도 사지메 마저에 체도 안 토나나 오도 스미마스
세네 단다 디 인지 나르레 다나신기 비 니가 테나 디기요레야 비라고요
라오다디 쇼 강난디 인지 티나네 디샤 에나 퓨티나네 가리티네 케바요 마직 티나나 디샤 슈에
라슬라소 다데 뱀라 페요 뱀라 다디 콘데게 베게나리아 enge ta khalagam chinge ma shubi dicheza just to again alia could you actually tell us about the whole voting approach this year, because unlike any other election in the past we've never had this pandemic, so because of the pandemic, because of the lockdown, things are very different. So what is different in this election this time, especially here in Ontario or Toronto, I would say?
Okay, some good questions.
Yeah.
A lot of information to cover. So should I first talk about the ballots?
No. So yeah, I think you should talk about the ballots first. Okay. Yeah. What the ballot paper, how you should fill it out, and what makes a spoiled ballot or something, okay, a ballot that doesn't count. Yeah.
Okay. So this is really important. So in English, I want to make sure that we're very clear on this because this is very important because this could result in a spoiled ballot, which is really a waste of your time and effort. So we want to make sure that we get everyone to cast their ballots accurately. So I want to make sure that first of all, there's going to be 4 pieces of information that you will need to fill out on the ballot form. And the ballot information is going to contain, is it columns?
Yeah, 4 columns.
Okay,
yeah.
4 columns. The first area you're going to have to cover, very importantly, is the candidate's first name and last name. So first name and surname, right?
Yeah.
So make sure you have that covered. Secondly, you'll have to know their native origin, or as we say in Tibetan, the payu. So that's the second area you're going to have to cover up or fill up on the form itself. The third area is going to be where they are currently residing. So where do they live now? You'll have to fill that in for both the SiChi and the 2 North and South America Chidu.
No.
And then the last area is their current or former occupation. So you can fill that in either way, whether they did previously or currently, right?
Really?
And then, so you can fill that information in either English or Tibetan.
Really long.
Can you mix the 2 together if you want to be creative? Is that okay?
It should be okay, yeah.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And then you asked about the voting approach, right?
Yeah, but before that,
Yeah.
regarding the ballot paper itself, how many rows, are there in the SiChi, where you enter your the name of this whoever for
Okay.
the SiChi, yeah.
Is this a trick question for me?
No, I'm just
Or you're
asking you if you
okay.
can make it clear, and then for the Chidu, is there 1 row or are there 2 rows? Can you add another row and you add 3 people in there, or
Okay, so just to clarify, you're only nominating 1 SiChi,
Yep.
right? I passed that part. 1 SiChi, 4 areas you have to fill out.
Yeah.
And then for the North and South America Chidu, we have an opportunity to nominate or elect 2 candidates. So if you put in 3, that's a spoiled ballot for the North and South America Chidu. If you put in 2 for the SiChi, that's a spoiled ballot. So make sure you fill in 1 SiChi and 2 North and South America Chidus, and that's it. And then you can cast your ballot.
Okay. So if you're not able to write, can you bring someone with you, and who should that be? At the same time, if they don't have anyone, does the election committee here make any arrangements for that?
So you can bring on a sheet of paper or on your phone whoever you're going to nominate for the SiChi and the 2 North and South America Chidus. That can either be a piece of paper or a phone. If you're not able to write in either Tibetan or English, or you have some issues with that, you are able to bring a family member with you to help you fill in those areas. So please remember that you do have that availability for you to help you out. And also, if you don't have anyone in your family that can help you, then we have volunteers arranged who can help you fill in that information. So please remember that we are here to help you, and if you have a family member that can help you, that's even better as well.
Darila beginalia ane chida tanda soso kesi igi thitu gu mebina ane mi shen nyam to thiyo na digi orwe
lao that susu igi thitu mena gongro deva tende na ka susu nangmi chi ki charo nani dusna ne digre yamena da mazu du lego ge ata leje de yore thangla wa yore mazu gi de ne charo nangire shue lao.
So let's back to Pamela. So I talked about the voting approach in Tibetan earlier. So unlike any other year, this year is very different. With the pandemic. So what is the approach and how is it different this year?
Okay, so the approach in Ontario, unfortunately, like Wendela mentioned, we have been going through a pandemic for the last year. And so we have to make alternate arrangements, unlike no other year. So this has been a year and a electoral process unlike any other years. So the committee has worked hard to determine the best approach under the circumstances. And the province of Ontario has been under a lockdown since Katuda.
The initial lockdown was November 23rd, and then there was further lockdown on December 26th.
Okay, so not too long ago, but we've been in a provincial lockdown since the 26th, which has really restricted, put constraints on how we conduct the elections, and we want to make sure that we do provide that opportunity for our community. So we have determined that the best approach and the safest approach is to have drive-through voting, at Kondishin Ling, which is a Tibetan Canadian Cultural Center here at 40 Titan Road. So there's drive-through voting and then walk-through voting. So we really encourage people, if at all possible, to please do the drive-through voting. It's the safest, and we also think it's best for everyone, volunteers and the community at large. So we really encourage that process. For those who are doing walk-through voting, we ask that you please also bring your own pen, also for drive-through voting. Wear your mask where you can, and please remain the physical distancing throughout the process.
Okay, so what are the dates and the registration? We know there are 2,712 people that are registered to vote. So, how do they spread themselves over the 3 days?
Okay, right.
Yep.
So it's 2,712 for Ontario, right? That's pretty good, I must say. How many did we have in the last couple of days when we extended the registration period?
So we had 150
wow.
Community members that actually registered in the last 3 or 4 days.
So additional.
In addition to
Wow.
what we had before, yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So actually, while you have this up, I know you mentioned previously in your Tibetan where to find the registration number, right? So what we're asking everyone is, if you're driving through or walking through, to please bring your green book for sure. That's going to be used to be embedding the what is that? The registration, the voter registration record. But please also look in the back of your book to figure out where do you fall under the 3 days. We have organized voting from January 1st, and if your number falls between 1 to 1,000, so you'll see in the back, it says CA, C stands for Canada, ON stands for Ontario, and then there's a number, so it's alphanumeric. The last numbers on the end will dictate which day you're going to come, so that's either January 1st, which is from 1 to 1,000, right?
Yep.
And then January 2nd is from 1,001 to 2,000, and then the third and final day that we have in our hands is January 3rd, which is 2001 to 2,712, I guess, right?
Yep.
And the voting timeframes that are available for everyone on those days is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now,
So the ones that are not able to vote on day 1 and 2
right.
will accommodate on day 3, as well as there are a few people, I'm assuming, that have actually moved from either from the US here or from India. So the ones that have moved from the US, we would actually give them the opportunity to vote on the final day, which is January the 3rd, or anyone from India,
So those who've come from other places, what do they have an opportunity to vote for? Or who?
So if they're within North America, they can vote for the 2 chitis as well as the SiChi.
Okay, right.
So they can nominate. Whereas if you're from India, you only have the opportunity to nominate for the SiChi.
Right. Okay, perfect.
Right. So there are a few things that we would request our community members to be aware of while being here. We would appreciate if no one records any video during the time they're here.
And is that something that we prefer locally, or is that a guideline under the regulations?
So it is a guideline. You're not supposed to record while you're voting. So we'll have some volunteers that will be guiding the cars while from the time they receive the ballot papers to the time they actually put the ballots in. So we would appreciate no one either video recording or taking any photographs and publicizing it on Facebook or any kind of social media. Other than that, is there anything else that we've missed? No, I think 단지 벽에 대한 시기 마주다 단다 예수에디 랭게소데 페웨캅들이야 네 게쇼디 갸웨캅리야 네 파르게라 소다나 신기에네 지 비디오 게라 소티조 마나로나 시주슈이 딩안 주이기다 디시다 게기도 원다나 신기 네 디 나란소데 당라 요레 다나 신기 nomgol shugro ta moda yama dos pedi ene ganzo thana zo gi chaza ji dos sigre si shwe yi de da chik le shagran zo chare lagde nal ya par mangbo chi ene chik lo chung du gi part ne mo ye sa enti kashe ya chik seu shra me du ta ganzo karsa linge zo ya 소소기 아이디 주나 남 페로치 주주슈에이 야 파라델이야 토포도 근데 유베나는 아주 랭게토리아 아이디 때스 체체 아주 달라티나레 당아서 의도 조종기 소매조기도 송도하고 레디체사 네버도 소소기 차데 락데 냠도 네 단다 대기 산에 단다 온테리오이나레 다 캐나다기 네 디 아이디 체게 냠도 남 페로치 주주슈에이.
So, in terms of coming on the day of, we asked that there's no video recording or any taping at all, especially in posting it on any social media platforms or even, keeping that. That is in line with the regulation that has been provided to us from the Election Commission as well, and we ask that please respect that rule. Secondly, what Wangila just spoke about is the Tibetan Green Book, because many people have been providing the volunteer payment since they were a child. So a lot of pictures in here are quite young. So we ask that you bring some extra ID, just in case we ask for some additional information or ID about who is voting, that you have that at your fingertips, so as to not send you back home and to really be efficient. So that's another ask that we have from you.
Dichikda ne ta lengezo delia hu chazaji pensa bi jelia ene di kasa azu chida da na su du langa chseyo re ene tanda morazo chik pesa inae ta di ye dual ya zomche ene de mana ro na shuen ngazu de ta nga de shungi ene lamde wal ya su du zomchu yo mare di chezan di kesi mima ma che diwa ye do shu che zombe na ngazu de gi tim da ta di gi yo re di chezan lengi so le begi ra che ni ma som de wal pebe na ene ngazu gi ta 산에 기에네 지금 람데 와야 디 차자지 라다 나로나 시슈이
탈로 가즈디 외쇼디 남기에나 가즈 창아리 뒤줄로 파다나 거라 다디 탈로 가즈 산에 수술로 장가교에 레송스모 안디 직대시 지켜로 나시
라온 치다 단단니도 죽지레 주툴레 네디 왜 pensabe 제리야 다치다 간소 니마 니섭 수준이 섭시지 ene 어감 최초요 말에 달래 딕시나리아 디체사 다 당시에 나에 디 달래 믹스에 다 단다 치초직네 다 내염기 ene 케레 다나 신기 다 레라우 치도 나란도 찍네 간소 다 산에 레레야 우두 다 차율 우두 총중지 유에서 다 딜테체 ene 간소 당시에 디 산에 라라야 체에 ene 고급지 도시 ene 간소 종요래 디체사 다 달래 데려야 체 숨을 차사비 제리야 체시 간소다 어감도 라고차요 말에 디젤이야 체가리야 ene 간소 우두 총중기 총미 다나신 기술과 창마 폐체 ene 간소 차사지네 당시 제고의 차르고래 사상 차사지 차사비 제리야 미망세다 제요 말에 딩한 주마 ene 간소 기타 창아리 나리야 당아주 차율 디 창아리 차용구요래 디체사 우두 소중기에네 겐지 다 겐지레로 나주마 퇴절이야 마 차사지마 땅구레시 슈엔이 나
챤나
근데 제리야 당아주기야 겐쇼도 차사지 루루체체 네디야 마 소르도 땅고에 차고래
나는 챤나
라서 엔타가 인서레네 랭게니 투지체 ene mima namba lenge samlo ya ene ta nyama khashe jel ya jeyo ene lenge zo di para del ya kusulo tuja naro na ene dagana shingi ene kondo shiu na shin ranzo tanda de ngade re dagana shingi sane shungi ta lamde chazaji ene ngazugi mima zo begirai 디 차다 나로나 시지 슈에이 라소완 토체나
챤나